Hi everyone, I'm Anna Baltzer, Director of Organizing and Advocacy at the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights. This is part one of our three-part series on BDS and how to run an effective BDS campaign. In this video, I'll be talking about what BDS is, why we do it, and some of the amazing things it has already achieved. With these videos, we're also launching our new BDS toolkit, which you can download at uscpr.org/BDS toolkit. If you're new to BDS, or even if you aren't, the best place to get important information about BDS is on the global website, bdsmovement.net. In 2005, 170 Palestinian civil society organizations issued a historic call for boycotts, divestment, and sanctions, BDS, targeting Israel's apartheid system and institutions complicit with it. BDS is a rights-based call with three goals grounded in international law. Number one, an end to Israel's occupation of all Arab lands and its dismantling of its walls. Number two, full equality for Palestinian citizens of Israel. And number three, the right of return for Palestinian refugees. Together, these three rights spell freedom, justice, and equality for the Palestinian people. The BDS call doesn't specify whether the solution should be one state or two states or anything like that, but rather that any solution must fulfill these very basic rights of the Palestinian people in order to be just and sustainable. Here's a useful image that outlines the rights, goals, and vision, as well as tactics of BDS. BDS calls for B. Boycotts, including consumer boycotts, as well as cultural, academic, sports boycotts. D. Divestment, withdrawing investments from corporations involved in Israeli oppression. And S. Government sanctions on Israel. BDS employs time-honored tactics that have been used to achieve social change throughout history. Despite attempts to legislate against BDS, boycotts remain a constitutionally protected form of protest, protected by the First Amendment. So what makes BDS so effective and important? BDS has fundamentally transformed the international movement for justice in Palestine, moving people away from sympathy into action in the form of campaigns. BDS has shifted power away from a dead-end so-called peace process dominated by political elites to a mass movement of everyday people of conscience who are no longer waiting for change to come from the top. We are making it happen ourselves. BDS campaigns take something happening across the world and make it into a local issue that can no longer be ignored. Sometimes groups don't feel ready to do a BDS campaign because they haven't done widespread community education, but BDS is arguably the best educational tool we have. Campaigns help us tell the story of what is happening in Palestine in a way that relates to people's daily lives and creates the controversy needed to garner lots of media attention. BDS forces us to be accountable to the huge breadth of Palestinian organizations behind the call, orienting international solidarity to the demands of the Palestinian people, rather than a colonial mentality of knowing what's best for Palestinians and how they should achieve their freedom. Last but not least, we engage in BDS because it works. In addition to bringing massive media attention and education around Palestine, there have been a snowball of BDS victories with far-reaching economic and political impact. BDS is taking the profit out of occupation. Reports have shown BDS was a major factor behind the 46% drop in foreign direct investment in Israel in 2014. That BDS could reduce Israel's GDP from 1 to 2% by 1 to 2% annually. That Israel's exports to the Palestinian economy are way down. That Israeli weapons companies are in, quote, crisis because of lessened demand for Israeli products. Today, the Israeli government sees BDS as a primary strategic threat to its system of injustice. BDS campaigns have forced multinational corporations to divest themselves from Israeli apartheid. Corporations like Veolia, Orange, and CRH have pulled out of Israel following BDS campaigns. Settlement companies Ahava and SodaStream have moved out of the West Bank, in large part. Longtime BDS target G4S has sold most of its business in Israel, having lost billions in contracts following BDS campaigns. You can read about some of the many global BDS wins at bdsmovement.net. There's also the widespread silent boycott by companies deterred from doing business with Israel because of the threat of BDS campaigns, which is making it increasingly difficult for Israel to secure new contracts. In the US alone, there have been hundreds of BDS victories, which are listed at uscpr.org/BDSwins. Many US cultural figures like Lauryn Hill, Alice Walker, Angela Davis, and others have endorsed BDS or canceled performances in Israel, along with figures worldwide like Roger Waters of Pink Floyd, Faithless, Brian Eno, and Elvis Costello. Former Super Bowl star Michael Bennett and several other NFL players canceled the trip to Israel in solidarity with the Palestinian people. Presbyterians, United Methodists, Evangelical Lutherans, Mennonites, Baptists, Quakers, and other faith-based groups have put an end to investing in Israeli occupation. Student-led divestment resolutions have passed on more than 35 college campuses, while more than 8 academic associations have endorsed BDS or the academic boycott of Israel. Local and national unions have endorsed BDS. Major investment funds, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, retirement giant TIAA-CREF, and the Soros Fund, have divested. Successful campaigns have resulted in retailers and co-ops deshelving products from Israel or Israeli settlements. Activists have blocked Israeli ships from being unloaded. And successful municipal campaigns have ended contracts and other ties with multinational corporations across the country. There have been many, many more BDS victories worldwide. From Spanish cities declaring themselves apartheid-free zones to governments suspending free trade agreements. You can find all these and more at bdsmovement.net and on our website, where you can also download our new BDS toolkit. And be sure to check out part 2 of the series for information on how to prepare a BDS campaign, including getting together a strong coalition, picking the right target, identifying goals, and much more. Then in part 3 of the series, you'll hear about how to launch and win your campaign, including choosing strategic tactics to build pressure on your target, how to keep your campaign energized along the ups and the downs, and what to do after you win. Please visit uscpr.org/BDS toolkit to watch and share all the videos and to download the toolkit today. Thanks.